Once more unto the breach, dear friends. Welcome to Mr. Know-It-All Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. Know-It-All, and we're going to talk about the biggest monster movie since the last biggest monster movie, and that is Godzilla, Godzilla Kong, Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla crossover with whatever. You get the idea. We're going to talk about it, and the movie's surprisingly a lot of fun. Well, let's get into it. What's up, my know-it-alls? Welcome. I, of course, am your host, Mr. Know-It-All. We're talking about Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla, whatever you want to call it, Kong. And you're more than welcome to watch the reviews here on the channel for the Monsterverse, the Monarch series, which I'm going to put a title card for right over here. The one thing that I've noticed is people go into these things with so many different points of view and so many different expectations. I went into this expecting nothing more than a fun monster flick. And we got that. It doesn't help that this movie came out hot on the heels of Godzilla -1, because that falsely set some expectations for some folks that, oh, well, if this is what the Toho version will look like, well, then our version's got to be that much more amazing. It is, but for different reasons. So I saw a really great example that said, if Godzilla -1 is a filet mignon steak dinner that's all meat, potatoes, steak, the whole bit, then Godzilla X Kong, or at least these series, the Lionsgate Godzilla flicks, are a good Whataburger or a good Five Guys burger, like a quality fast food burger. And I have to agree with that. I don't think they're cheap fast food. I think they're good fast food, if such a thing is to exist. So what do I mean by that? So last movie, which was Godzilla, I believe it was Godzilla versus Kong or something like that. The last movie, I felt like, began to go in a direction. I didn't necessarily know what that direction was or why it was going there, but it went there. Then the Monarch show came out, and the Monarch show filled in some gaps that really helped me with the storytelling. And then you get to this movie. I remember Saturday mornings waking up, watching cartoons, getting my bowl of cereal, sit down and watch cartoons. Right after cartoons would come on, then they would start these afternoon creature features type stuff. Sometimes it'd be Kung Fu movies, sometimes they'd half and half it, and then other times it was straight up be Godzilla monster movies. Sometimes it was the Sentai stuff that later on became Power Rangers. A lot of things happened Saturday afternoons. So when I would watch these, I was already in the bag for what could potentially be an encounter of some kind having to do with science fiction or fantasy or any of that stuff. And so next thing you know, you see these things with these magic girls, the twins, and they're doing stuff, and you get to see giant Mothra with magic happening and stuff. I would see Ultraman fighting Godzilla. You saw everything from sci-fi and fantasy. My point is, there was always a supernatural aspect, even if no one ever really talked about it. And so, meaning it wasn't really put forth like that. So when I go into this movie, I'm not in any way, shape, or form surprised. Other people are like, I guess the girl's like psychic now or whatever, and this and that. And people get real upset at certain parts. And they're like, well, you have no clue what a Godzilla movie is then. Because I've watched Godzilla movies, and sure, it can be, absolutely, they do 100% this. So this brings other aspects that we've never seen done in Godzilla before and brings them out. And I really like the way they pulled it off. Brian Tyree Henry does an amazing job as the same character from last movie. And everyone they bring in does a really, really good job being what they are. The humans have very little to do with the story. It is a backdoor. The humans are like, oh yeah, no, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's whole scenes. Like there's a scene where from start to finish, it takes like 10 minutes easily of the movie, which is a big chunk of the movie's runtime. And it's literally Godzilla. He gets ambushed by some really mean looking ape guys, and he beats the tar out of them. And then this little teeny baby ape comes in, the one you see in the trailers, and he tries to double cross Godzilla. And at one point, Godzilla picks him up and uses him as a weapon. It's hilarious. He's swinging this little baby around, just whacking things. It's awesome. Finally, when Godzilla is like the winner, and Godzilla's basically like, bro, He's like he takes his little dude under his wing. And the thing is, there was no dialogue. You saw everything through the characters that the monsters are portraying. And I understood the story. So again, I feel like Lionsgate did a really good job taking our notes and being like, oh yeah, fans they don't care about the whole human story is whatever. And the human story was exactly that. It was whatever. You see very little of Monarch. You see very little you see the team, and that's all you really needed. And there is one part that a lot of people joke about. And I remember thinking to myself, this is mad convenient. Like, this is super convenient. I'm okay with it because contrived stories in movie, whatever. But it's where Godzilla gets King Kong gets the power glove. And the power glove, they're literally, it goes something like this. I don't know what we're going to do about his hand because his hand's all hurt because of this freezing ice Godzilla, long story. And so she's like, what are we going to do about his hand? He's like, what about Operation Power Up? And she's like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. It just so happens the prototype, before they pulled the plug, was finished. So the whole thing was done. And then the government pulled the plug, and it's just been sitting down here in Hollow Earth, exactly where they needed it, exactly when they needed it. Again, all the conveniences, not to mention the fact that everyone's sitting around this and he has very little time, this and that. And apparently, dude, we've now been in the movie 45 minutes, almost in a little over an hour. And that's how long it's taken them to travel in Storytime World. He manages to get all the way back to where we started like that, jump in a mirror version of his ship, the same ship that he arrives in to help Godzilla with his sword with his bad tooth. That's a whole thing in the story. Anyways, so somehow the ship that wasn't here, there's another of here. And the glove that they need is also here. And he manages to pick it up, fly it over to where they are, no issue whatsoever. Okay. And that's when I stopped and went, why do I care? Why do I care? Godzilla has a power glove now. He's awesome. Why do I care? And it's great. And so you go forward. We get to see Shomo. He's the I guess the ice Godzilla. It's a sort of a icy white stegosaurus-y thing with like ice ridges, and he shoots at ice breath that, according to legend, caused the last ice age. You ever notice when sci-fi shows want to show the severity of an ice threat, everything is, this thing caused the last ice age. In the same, so as, not even kidding, Ghostbusters just had an ice enemy. And it also is, this is the reason what caused the last ice age. Like, again, I'm putting a moratorium from now on referencing an ice age with an ice villain. No more. Done. No more. So yeah, no. But overall, I enjoyed this thing. I don't know why they called it Godzilla X Kong. They should have just called it Kong and Friends, because it's Kong's movie all day. We spend more time in storytelling with Kong than we do with Godzilla. Apparently, Godzilla somehow used like Monsterdar and detected that there was a problem, and he was going to need to power up because he's hopping around the globe. And he's straight up just sucking up nuclear energy. There's one particular Titan who is nothing but irradiated pink energy, hence why we get pink Godzilla, fabulous Godzilla later, with flashing his pink, what do you call it, ground effects. It's really funny because you sit here and you go, okay, so Godzilla gets I got it. Even down to when Kong goes up top to get Godzilla because he clearly needs to get help. He shows up, and Godzilla shows up, and then as Godzilla's running toward him, literally Kong's like, no, hang on, whoa. He didn't say it, but he's like, wait a minute. He's like putting his arm, it's just, I'm sitting here going, boy, he's trying super hard to communicate. He manages to finally communicate, maybe end up going down to the Hollow Earth, and it's all big rumble down there. I don't know why, I didn't think the Scar King was all that big a threat. I really didn't. I feel like the Scar King was kind of a chumpy threat. And we get that the Scar King is enslaved to the other Kong ape people or creatures, the Titans, but we don't understand anything other. Like, they give us the visuals. Like, they're clearly in a slave line and other mean apes are cracking whips. And I'm like, they clearly wanted to borrow a line or playbook from something out of the playbook for Planet of the Apes. It just didn't jibe for me. Him sitting in his throne with his whip, it all felt... Then again, I'm thinking too much about a Titan movie, and I'm just like, it's Godzilla. Okay, so whatever. Story-wise, not a whole lot going on here. But movie-wise, I enjoyed the heck out of this. It was fun. I'll watch this again. I'll watch it again. As soon as it comes out on VOD, I'll watch it all day. Seriously. It was fun. It was fun. So there you go. Now you know. I've really set the battle. You have to be know it all yourself. What's it all index for Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla crossover, whatever the heck Kong, the Frozen, a new Empire, Frozen Empire. You see what I did there? Sorry. A new Empire. So again, there's not a lot substance-wise. And when in this type of situation, so there's some people who sit here and go, no, all movies must be held to the same standards. Look, there's not a lot of story here. Not really. Not on its face. There is, but it's not the kind of story you're used to. So again, I take these things where they live, how they are, at face value. Doing all of that, I'm going to give this movie easily a 7.5 out of 10. So, right? There you go, man. It is what it is. Would love to know your thoughts on the Godzilla movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Are you in the bag for these things like I am? Because no matter what, I'm going to go see one. But yeah, comment below. Would love to have that discussion with you guys. All right, I cannot wait because Star Trek Discovery is coming this week. We're also going to be doing a live show on Wednesday and all that and more. So don't go anywhere. Keep it here. Thank you so much for those of you who like and subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps to the algorithms. Do me a favor, like that, slap that subscribe button. It's not going to kill you. And I'm going to have good stuff here, I promise. So welcome to the Know It All Nation if you have, and if you haven't, what are you waiting on? All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all.